compelled to share what I've been like transforming the last week, I would say. I'm sure some of you remember that I posted about my son, talking about my son's father and how he had a different reaction than my son's father's dad did when it came to an unwanted visitor in their space. And so in that post, I was talking about how in my head, I was like, God, your dad's still the same fucking dick. And that got the ball rolling that, like, when you see something about somebody, like I see him being a fucking dick, it's a reflection. You're actually looking at yourself. I think I'm a fucking dick, dude. I am, actually. I am. But I was like, wow, you know, I've dealt with my son's father and our past a lot in my head. Like, I've done the work. I've asked for forgiveness in letters, not necessarily to him, which I would love to do, and own responsibility. I would love to have that conversation with him. I would own everything that I would take responsibility for everything I'm responsible for. I mean, God, I would love to have that conversation. Why? Because it's so freeing. Then you're complete. And I hope to have that conversation someday. I would love to give his dad a hug. And that really had me look at my anger. You know, it's like I've done all the head work and what am I trying to say? Like, I don't know. I've thunked my way through it, but I've never felt it to heal it. And I just realized, like, I have a lot of anger there that I've not tapped into. I haven't just felt it and released it however I need to do that. And so that's what started my week, or whenever that was. So anger was like in my space. And then I lashed out at 2 people last week, whenever it was. I don't know. 2 people. One girl I thought was being rude, and so I was like, you don't get to talk to me that way, and it didn't, you know, go very well. And then I lashed out at 2 high school kids that were blocking me getting out from traffic. Both of those reactions were my responsibility, and my responsibility only. You know, I could blame it on how stressed out I am with Seth and all that stuff, but you know, I'm the one who's responsible for my actions. And so I got responsible for my actions. Then I'm like, God, you know, maybe there is this anger. Like, why? I call myself assertive, but shit, I'm aggressive. I could be a bully aggressive when I want to I'm a bull in a china shop when I want to get my way. Like, you watch when I go to San Francisco, what a bull in a china shop I'll be when it comes to funding. Like, I love that about myself. I love how king of the jungle I am, you know what I mean? But also not when it impacts other people in the way it did last week, and myself, because I felt like I made a complete fucking idiot out of myself, and I did. And so this weekend, oh my gosh, all I did was, I had worked 7 days straight as well, so I was just tired. And this weekend, the day that I hyperventilated and like the next day, I just cried a lot. I hyperventilated a lot and I cried a lot, and I got it out. And then I went to work on tapping into my anger, and I wrote a list of what little Mandy is angry about. I did some inner child healing work as well. And so I went to work on those areas, and I listened to jazz a lot this weekend. Thank God for jazz. I even slept with it on. And I thought about whatever situation little Mandy was mad about, and I put myself in that situation, and I just listened to jazz, and I let the anger come up. And all of those situations, I let the anger come up, you guys. And it, like, I would love to have recorded what I looked like, because my whole body just got tense and my fist clenched and my face twitched, and I was just probably really scary looking, but I felt it. Like, some of it had to, like, it took some work, you know? And I have a lot more work to do. But I know in life, like, since my son's father, I have just not liked men. I have been pretty, and again, a certain type, you know, I have to like figure you out first before I let you in. And this is all over here with me. This is all untapped anger that has just manifested in like not liking innocent people because they were born male. How dumb is that shit? So I really went to work on like the anger from my dad and my sister, and you know, throughout this trial, this is what the beauty of like breakdowns, there's beauty in the breakdown, is like you go through this hard times and hopefully you look at what you need to be learning through it. That's my process. A lot of you guys ask my process. That's it. I look for what needs to be transformed in the process. I go to fucking work on it. I don't ignore it. You know what I mean? I hit it straight on. And this is a real huge thing that I'm getting right now, because I'm gonna be the leader of Thrive Inside. How can I like be angry with people and be a good leader? No, I'm gonna transform that. Okay, I'm also gonna, I just realized it's 6 minutes. I'm gonna get this going. So throughout this trial, I have really gone to work on like the fact that my immediate family, my sister, my mom, my dad, were like nowhere in sight throughout this trial. My mom did buy me like clothes, which is her way of loving me, and I appreciate that. And I would, you know, I had no mental support from family, you know, like close family. And so I've just really been working on like thinking like, okay, that's kind of it. You don't really come back from that. You know what I mean? Like that's, which I would allow a comeback from that, but that's a pretty big message that, you know, that chapter of your life is over. You know, we have served each other as far as we could serve each other, and now it's time to like see what's next, you know. And so, and I'm totally okay with all of that. Hold on just a second. So last night I did a tarot card reading with White Feather Tarot. She is so incredible. Like, I am not against tarot. I have no idea. I entertain it. I think it's cool. I listen to it like when it happens. But this lady is spot on. As a matter of fact, I completely see myself utilizing her throughout my journey with Thrive. You could pay her like $60 to do a private reading, and I will use her. She's so spot on. And last night, I did her daily tarot reading, and this time it was, what is your future self wishing they would have told you already? Like, what's the message? What do they wish that you already knew? And I don't know if you heard Lennon, but she just like hauled ass right there. Anyway, my message from my future self, I'm gonna try to like sink it in, is that my mother recently my mom just crossed the last line with me. It was what do they call it? It was like the last needle in the haystack. What is it? Whatever. She crossed the line, and I'm just done. I've been done, but I've also kept her in the loop because I want her to know about Seth, and none of that is worth like my mental, you know, well-being. And so she just crossed this last line, and I decided to just block her, you know, once and for all. And I'm complete as complete can be without her being in my life. Like, she has always been my biggest wound and my biggest teacher. She and Seth have been my biggest teacher. And so anyway, I did this thing last night, this tarot reading, and that's what they were saying. That's what my future self was saying, is like, in that moment that she acted the way she did about a month ago, that was just like over the line for me. She knew that I was done. Like, I just blocked her, but like, I guess she knew that I'm good. And in that moment, from what my future self said, is her whole world fell apart. Like, she's so sad that her actions has led to this, and she is so egotistical. This is future Mandy's words, not mine. It is my words too. She's so egotistical that she knows that she's caused this damage, but she doesn't want to be blamed, and she wants to just blame you, which is story of my life with this woman. And that she wants to continue our relationship, but she wants to continue it and still be able to step on me. And I'm like, fuck no. So this is kind of a lot, but when I was like before elementary school, I used to have this dream of this really tall man would walk through our town and like step on people and flatten them like a pancake, and then they would like pop back up. But that's what the guy did. This was a reoccurring dream, meaning every week I had this dream. And he would come in my house and he would step on my mom and step on my sister, and I'd always go hide in my sister's closet. And when the tall dude opened the door, I would ask him like, don't step on me, please. Like, you know, I would like beg for him not to do that, and then I would wake up. And I got it one time in a seminar that was the moment that I was separating myself from my mom and my sister. It's like, I'm over here and those two are over there, is what I got. But last night, hearing future Mandy talk about how she wants to step on me, what if, I don't know, isn't that interesting that I started my memories? Those were some of my earliest memories that I remember with like my mom and being stepped on, and then I'm ending it with like, you're not stepping on me anymore, no fucking way. And future Mandy said that now is the time to choose yourself, detach, choose yourself. And if I continue with this relationship with my mom, that I am not going to grow and get stronger, is what she said, the way I will when I let that relationship go. And like future self is saying, I've already done that. Like, that's already happened where I am, and it's wonderful. And like, basically you don't want to miss out on like this strength that you're gonna get. And it was so freeing in that moment, because it was just like validation again, you know, like, and I'm not saying that I'm like perfect or anything like that. It's just validating that my mom never got responsible for her mental health, you know, and it manifested in us having a really fucking toxic relationship. And that's another thing that I got out of everything, taking all of this on this weekend, and my anger. I got so clear that we are born into a specific world. I've said this before, if you've listened to my videos. We're born into a specific world, and we end up being a certain way in those worlds. Seth and I both were born into a chaotic, toxic, violent, like, world. And we both wound up being a certain way because of it. And who I wound up being, not who I am in my core, but who I wound up being born into this world of chaos and toxic, is angry and toxic. Holy shit, I've been toxic. I know I've been toxic. Like, my 20s, I was toxic. 30s, not as bad, but yeah, I grew. Now I hope I'm not, but I am like lashing out at people. So what there is to really keep working on is like releasing this anger when I'm catching it. And I yesterday gave up being angry and toxic. No longer is that allowed in my way of being. And who I'm gonna be instead is safe. I'm gonna be the safest fucking person you guys have ever met. I'm gonna be safe. That's who I am at my core. So anyway, that's part of my process. This is why I isolate, because I'm not just sitting over here pity partying. I'm going to work on this type of shit. Like, this is what I do in my alone time. And this is also how Thrive has come out as well. Like, There's nothing more important to me right now than transforming in the hardest time of Seth and I's life. Like, fuck, it's an opportunity for growth, and I'm growing big time. Love you guys.